Where did everything come from? Part 2. As we discovered in Part 1, the Big Bang Theory and general relativity point to a definite beginning of the universe. The fact that most scientists now believe that energy, matter, space, and time had a beginning makes it virtually impossible to find a purely natural explanation for the universe. Taken together, the Big Bang and general relativity provide a scientific description of what Christians call creatio ex nihilo, creation out of nothing. And creation out of nothing is something we never observe in the natural world. George Smoot, project leader for the Cosmic Background Explorer that confirmed remnants of the Big Bang, concludes, "There is no doubt that a parallel exists between the Big Bang as an event and the Christian notion of creation from nothing." An entire cosmos out of nothing? How could this happen? Journalist Greg Easterbrook encourages us to consider this. Set aside the many competing explanations of the Big Bang. Something made an entire cosmos out of nothing. It is this realization that something transcendent started it all, which has hard science types using terms like miracle. The Big Bang's implication that there must be a cause which transcends the physical universe grabbed the attention of a giant in the field of cosmology, Alan Rex Sandage, whom the New York Times dubbed the Grand Old Man of Cosmology. As he approached the stage at a 1985 conference on the origin of the universe, there seemed to be little doubt where he would sit. The panel would be divided among scientists who believed in God and those who didn't. The ethnically Jewish Sandage had been a virtual atheist even as a child, so his seat among the doubters was a given. Then the unexpected happened. Sandage set the room abuzz by turning and taking a chair among the theists. The Big Bang, he told the rapt audience, was a supernatural event that could not be explained by the physical laws of nature. Science could take us to the first event, but it couldn't take us beyond to the first cause. The sudden emergence of matter, space, time, and energy pointed to the need for some being or force that transcends the universe. The Bible describes such a transcendent entity, and it is the only religious source coming to us from ancient times that fits the modern cosmological picture. The Hebrew Scriptures in 1 Kings 8:27 clearly present a God who has infinite capabilities, who is much greater than the universe and cannot be contained by it. The extravagant God described in Psalm 66:5 is fully capable of creating an immense universe with the intention of focusing on us. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Arno Penzias, co-discoverer of the cosmic background radiation from the Big Bang, suggests that the best data we have are exactly what I would have predicted had I nothing to go on but the first 5 books of Moses, the Psalms, and the Bible as a whole. The prophet Isaiah directed us to lift our eyes to heaven and ask the universal question, who created all these? And the apostle Paul said, what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse. The Bible says that when we look into the heavens, we find a self-evident truth there, as obvious as if we could hear it in words, available to people of every language, to every part of the earth, and we're without excuse if we don't believe it. For the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they display knowledge. There is no speech or language where their voice is not heard. 100 years ago, Christians had to maintain by faith in the Bible that despite all appearances to the contrary, the universe was not eternal, but was created out of nothing a finite time ago. Now the situation is exactly the opposite. It is now the atheists who have to maintain, by faith, despite all of the evidence to the contrary, that the universe did not have a beginning a finite time ago, but is in some inexplicable way eternal after all. Christians can stand confidently within the biblical truth, knowing it's in line with mainstream astrophysics and cosmology. There has never been a time in history when the hard evidence of science confirmed belief in God more than it does today. As it enters the 21st century, science has yet to come up with a natural explanation for the universe's origin, and it would seem that the supernatural explanation given in Hebrews 11:3 is still the best one we have. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. Robert Jastrow, an agnostic, confirmed the wisdom of these ancient truths when he ended his book, God and the Astronomers, with this classic line: "For the scientist who has lived by his faith in the power of reason, the story ends like a bad dream. He has scaled the mountains of ignorance. He is about to conquer the highest peak. As he pulls himself over the final rock, he is greeted by a band of theologians who have been sitting there for centuries."